The stars glittered coldly above the battleground, indifferent to the chaos below. Across the barren plains of the planet Kovara 9, the forces of humanity and the Zurak clashed for what felt like the 100th time. Explosions lit the sky as human fighter jets darted between towering alien warships, while the Zurak, their armor gleaming in the low light, unleashed energy blasts that scorched the earth. Both sides were at a standstill, their troops battered, exhausted, and driven only by the determination to survive another day. From her hidden sanctuary high above the planet, Lyra watched in silence. Her fiery wings flickered faintly, casting a soft glow in the ancient chamber she called home. She was one of the last of her kind, the Fayal, elemental beings who had existed long before either humans or the Zurak set foot on this planet. For centuries, her people had lived in peace, observing the universe, without interference. But now, as war ravaged the galaxy, the balance of nature was crumbling. The Fire Fairy's heart ached at the senseless destruction. She had watched for too long as both humans and Zurak tore each other apart, driven by old grievances and thirst for conquest. Their battles poisoned the skies and cracked the earth, sending shockwaves of instability throughout the cosmos. The time for watching had passed. Lyra closed her eyes and breathed in deeply, feeling the warmth of the planet's core beneath her. Flames danced at her fingertips, responding to her will. She had the power to intervene, but that power came with a burden. The Fayal had sworn never to interfere in mortal affairs unless the survival of the galaxy itself was threatened. And yet, Lyra felt the tides of change surging. If she did nothing, the war would spiral beyond control, threatening not just the warring species, but the very fabric of the universe. She stood at the threshold of her sanctuary, looking down at the battlefield below. Smoke billowed from the wreckage of human and Zurak ships alike, the once pristine landscape now littered with twisted metal and charred bodies. She could sense the weariness of both armies. Their soldiers fought with the weight of despair, not hope. This war had stretched on too long, with no victor in sight. The humans, with their relentless ingenuity and indomitable spirit, had held their own against the technologically superior Zurak. But both sides were losing, trapped in a cycle of destruction that neither could escape. Lyra felt the pull of duty, the ancient vow that her kind had made long ago. She could not allow this madness to continue. Spreading her wings, Lyra descended from her sanctuary, her body a streak of flame against the darkened sky. As she flew closer to the battlefield, she felt the heat of the conflict intensify, but it did not deter her. She was the fire, after all. Heat and flame were her companions, her essence. Below, a group of human soldiers advanced across a ridge, rifles raised as they prepared to engage a Zurak battalion. Neither side noticed her approach until it was too late. With a wave of her hand, a wall of fire erupted between them, stopping both armies in their tracks. The flames roared, bright and fierce, yet they did not burn. Instead, they formed an impenetrable barrier, separating human and Zurak alike. Panic swept through the ranks. Shouts of confusion rang out as soldiers from both sides tried to make sense of what was happening. Was this an enemy weapon? A new trick in the endless cycle of war? But as the flames continued to burn without consuming anything, it became clear this was no ordinary phenomenon. Lyra hovered above the battlefield, her wings spreading wide as she addressed the armies below. Enough, her voice echoed, powerful yet melodic, like the crackle of a distant fire. This war ends now. The soldiers looked up, stunned. A murmur rippled through their ranks. Some fell to their knees, believing they were in the presence. The campfires flickered faintly in the cold night air as the human and Zurak forces set up their makeshift headquarters on opposite sides of the valley. An uneasy truce hung in the balance, with neither side sure how to proceed. The Fire Fairy's sudden intervention had left them bewildered and disoriented, unsure of what they had witnessed or what would come next. In the human command tent, Captain Arlen Hayes sat hunched over a table, his brow furrowed in deep thought. Maps and holographic displays lay scattered before him, remnants of battle strategies that now seemed pointless. How could they plan for something like this? How could they fight an enemy they didn't understand? The fairy, Lyra, she had called herself, was unlike anything he had ever encountered. And she had stopped the fighting without firing a single shot. "Captain, what do we do now?" Lieutenant Mara Blake asked, her voice tense. She was a hardened soldier, like many in their ranks, and she wasn't used to standing down in the face of an enemy, let alone one that wielded what seemed like magic. "We wait," Hayes replied, rubbing his temples. "For now, we follow her orders. There's no point in pressing the attack when she can wipe us out in an instant." Blake scowled. "And we trust her? Some alien creature with powers we can't explain? For all we know, this could be a Zurak weapon, a trick to make us drop our guard." Hayes shook his head. "She's no Zurak weapon. The Zurak are just as confused as we are. And if you saw the fear in their eyes when that wall of fire went up, you'd know they're not in control of her." Blake fell silent, but the tension remained. The whole camp was on edge. Hayes knew that many of his soldiers felt the same way, unsure whether to trust Lyra, unsure if they could even trust the ceasefire. Across the valley, Commander Thrax of the Zurak paced inside his own command post. The muscular, armored figure of the Zurak leader looked every bit the warrior, but tonight, he felt uncertain. The sudden appearance of the fire fairy had shaken even his battle-hardened resolve. "Commander," one of his officers, General Krax, spoke up, his voice tinged with suspicion. "This fairy, she claims neutrality, but can we afford to trust her? The humans have always sought to deceive us, and she may be in league with them." Thrax growled softly, his reptilian eyes narrowing. "I don't believe that. I saw the humans' faces. She surprised them just as much as us. If she wanted to wipe us out, she could have done so already. No, this is something different." "And what of her demands?" Krax asked, his tone cautious but insistent. "Peace? A union with these humans? We have fought them for generations. Can we truly set aside our differences?" Thrax turned to his general, his voice cold but measured. "We have no choice. If this fire fairy's power is as vast as it seems, continued war will bring only mutual destruction. She has forced us to the table. We will negotiate, at least until we learn more of her motives." As the night deepened, a message arrived at both camps. Lyra requested a meeting, a gathering of leaders from both sides. The location, the center of the valley, where the flames had parted. Neither side could afford to refuse. At dawn, under the shadow of the valley cliffs, Captain Hayes and Commander Thrax met for the first time. Accompanied by small retinues of their officers, they eyed each other warily as they approached the neutral ground. The tension was palpable, but they had come because of one reason. Lyra had commanded it. Hovering a few feet above the ground, Lyra appeared in a burst of light, her fiery wings gently flapping as she descended between the two groups. Her presence radiated calm, yet undeniable power. She surveyed both sides before speaking. "This war has brought you to the edge of ruin," Lyra began, her voice clear and commanding. "And it is not only your species that will suffer if you continue. The balance of the galaxy itself is at risk." Thrax's eyes narrowed. What tension hung thick in the air after the initial peace talks. Though Captain Hayes and Commander Thrax had agreed to a temporary ceasefire, neither side felt truly at ease. In the human camp, whispers of dissent spread like wildfire, while the Zurak remained restless, their warrior instincts twitching for action. The peace Lyra demanded seemed fragile, like a thread stretched too thin. Captain Arlen Hayes stood outside his command tent, watching his troops from a distance. Their faces, once hardened by war, now showed signs of confusion and uncertainty. Some seemed hopeful, others distrustful. Hayes understood their fear. Peace felt as alien as the Zurak themselves. His thoughts were interrupted by the sharp voice of Lieutenant Mara Blake, his most trusted officer. "Captain, I've heard rumors," she said, stepping up beside him. Her expression was serious, her tone edged with concern. "Not everyone believes this peace is real." Hayes sighed, nodding. "I expected as much. Too many years of bloodshed. Too many lives lost. It's hard to just stop fighting and pretend everything will be fine. Blake crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing. It's more than that. Some of our own are planning to take matters into their own hands. They don't trust the Zurak, and they definitely don't trust this fire fairy. They think the only way to survive is to strike first, before we're wiped out. Hayes turned to her, alarm rising in his chest. Who? I don't have names yet, but it's growing. Some of the newer recruits and even a few veterans. They're gathering weapons, preparing for something. Hayes clenched his jaw. A rebellion within his own ranks was the last thing they needed. We need to stop this before it goes any further. If Lyra finds out, she won't tolerate it. And if we break the truce now, the Zurak will come down on us with everything they've got. Blake hesitated, then spoke quietly. It's not just us. Our scouts intercepted Zurak communications. There are rumors of unrest on their side too. A faction led by General Krax wants to continue the war. They think Commander Thrax is being weak by negotiating with us. Hayes felt. The sun rose over Kovara 9, casting a crimson hue over the battlefield, now eerily quiet after the chaos of the previous days. But the silence belied the tension brewing beneath the surface. Both the human and Zurak camps were filled with whispers of dissent, and a sense of impending conflict hung thick in the air. Captain Arlen Hayes felt it deep in his bones as he stood outside his command tent, scanning the horizon. The promise of peace was unraveling, and the stakes were higher than ever. Reports had come in that rogue factions from both sides were gathering, preparing to strike. The very unity Lyra had fought so hard to forge was at risk of shattering. Just as Hayes was about to call an emergency meeting with his officers, a sharp voice called out from behind him. Captains. It was Lieutenant Mara Blake, her expression urgent as she approached. You need to see this. Before he could ask what was wrong, she handed him a small device displaying a live feed. The image flickered to life, revealing a group of soldiers from both sides, human and Zurak, clashing near the edge of the valley. Blasts of energy and gunfire filled the air, mixing with shouts of anger and frustration. Hayes's stomach dropped. It's happening already, he muttered, watching in horror as the skirmish escalated. Blake nodded grimly. We can't let it spread. If Lyra finds out about this, we'll lose any chance of peace. Gather our best and prepare to intervene, Hayes ordered. We need to stop this before it spirals out of control. As they rushed to gather their troops, Commander Thrax received similar news in the Zurak camp. He stood in his command post, flanked by General Krax and a few other high-ranking officers. The tension was palpable, a mix of fear and anticipation. Those fools! Krax snarled, his reptilian eyes gleaming with anger. This is exactly what I warned against. They cannot be trusted. Thrax clenched his jaw, trying to suppress the rising tide of frustration. We cannot allow this skirmish to escalate. If we attack now, we may lose everything. We'll send our forces to intervene and restore order. Before they could mobilize, Lyra appeared, a flash of flame and light that filled the tent with warmth. She looked between Thrax and Krax, her expression one of deep concern. The flames of war have ignited once more. You must not let this conflict spread. Lives are at stake, and the balance of the galaxy hangs in the balance. Krax crossed his arms, a look of defiance on his face. And what of our honor? The humans have always been deceitful. How can we trust them now? Lyra's gaze hardened. Trust must be built, not demanded. You risk losing everything by acting on fear and hatred. Remember, an enemy can become an ally in the face of a greater threat. Realizing the gravity of her words, Thrax spoke with determination. We will move to protect our interests without further escalation. I will not allow our people to be consumed by a cycle of revenge. As Lyra nodded, a sudden tremor shook the ground beneath them. Dust and debris fell from the tent supports, and an ominous roar echoed in the distance. The ground rumbled as shadows moved against the horizon. Look, one of the Zurak officers shouted, pointing. The sky darkened as an enormous ship descended, its massive hull casting a shadow over the battlefield. It was the Kaltorin, an ancient race thought to be nothing more than a legend, now awakened from their slumber. A wave of panic surged through both camps. As the ship landed, the ground shook violently, sending soldiers scrambling for cover. The doors of the vessel opened, revealing tall, dark figures cloaked in shimmering armor, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The Kaltorin had returned, and they were not here for peace. "What do we do?" Blake shouted, panic evident in her voice. "We fight," Krax declared, raising his weapon. "For our honors." But Lyra stepped forward, flames swirling around her, radiating both warmth and authority.
"No.
This is not a battle for honor. This is a fight for survival. We must unite against this common enemy." Thrax's voice boomed over the chaos. "Heed her words. This is the moment we set aside our differences and join forces. If we do not, we will all fall." With uncertainty but desperation, the humans and Zurak soldiers lowered their weapons. As the Kaltorin advanced, Lyra stood at the forefront, her fiery wings spread wide, igniting a blaze of unity between the two armies. "We fight together," she cried, her voice ringing out above the roar of the Kaltorin. "Together, we stand a chance." The soldiers nodded, their fear giving way to determination. Hayes stepped forward, meeting Thrax's gaze. "We've fought long enough against each other. Let this day mark a new beginning." As the Kaltorin charged, the united forces of humans and Zurak prepared for battle, side by side. Together, they would face this ancient threat, their destinies intertwined in a fight for their survival and the future of the galaxy. In that moment, the flames of rebellion faded, replaced by the flickering hope of unity forged in the heat of adversity.